Hello, I'm Coach Frank Allocco, and today I'd like to speak to you about overcoming the odds. There's a great line from the famous Notre Dame fight song that says, "What though the odds be great or small?" Whenever I hear those words, I always think of Rocky Bleier, one of my first childhood heroes. I first heard of Rocky when he was part of the famous Fighting Irish backfield of 1966, where he lined up alongside teammates Terry Hanratty, Larry Conjar, and Nick Eddy. When I was 13 years old, I would run on the sidewalks of my hometown playing an imaginary football game where I would make believe I was each one of those players running through tacklers, and if I stepped on a crack, I was tackled. Whenever I needed big yardage, Rocky was my go-to guy, and as you can imagine, I made sure that Rocky was as difficult to tackle in my invented game as he was on the gridiron. The 1966 Notre Dame team won the national championship, and the following year, in a tribute to his leadership, Rocky was named the team captain. After graduation, he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 16th round, the 417th player selected. At 5'11" and a low draft pick, the odds were stacked against him, but he somehow made the team, but played sparingly with just 6 carries and 3 pass receptions. 11 games into his rookie season, a letter arrived in his locker notifying him that he had been drafted into the United States Army. 5 months later, he would go to Vietnam to serve with the 196th Light Infantry Brigade. He was a squad grenadier who operated an M79 grenade launcher. On August 20th, 1969, while on patrol, his platoon was ambushed in a dried-out rice paddy, and they instantly dove and rolled onto the ground to avoid fire. He crawled 20 yards before he was able to load his grenade launcher, and then he was hit by a machine gun bullet that ripped into his left thigh. But despite his injury and the intense pain, he continued to provide cover for his brigade by launching grenades at the machine gun fire. During that battle, an enemy grenade bounced off the brigade captain's back and landed right next to him. And as he jumped to avoid it, the explosion tore into his right knee, right thigh, and severely damaged his right foot, with over 100 pieces of shrapnel lodged into his foot. Tragically, there were 33 soldiers in his unit, and on this day, 25 were injured and 4 were killed. Bleier was transported to a hospital in Tokyo and was sadly informed by doctors that his severe injuries would prevent him from fulfilling his dream of returning to professional football. He spent 9 months in the hospital and received a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart for serving his country with courage and valor. While in the hospital, the odds in this seemingly futile situation changed dramatically when he received a postcard from Art Rooney, the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, that simply said, "Rock, the team's not doing well. We need you." He also drew inspiration from a wounded veteran in the hospital who had lost both legs and one arm and still had a positive attitude. That courageous soldier would encourage other wounded comrades by telling them that they looked so much better than they did yesterday. Rocky was discharged in July of 1970. But his prospects of playing were dim, as now, because of his injuries and subsequent operations, one leg was shorter than the other and one foot a half size smaller. The odds were stacked against him once again as he had difficulty walking without pain, his speed had been diminished, and he had lost over 30 pounds. But as his recovery slowly progressed, he was able to begin informal workouts with Steeler teammates. He was ultimately put on injured reserve, but then waived on 2 different occasions. The odds were against him once again. Despite those disappointments, Rocky would never give up. He knew the odds were against him as he indulged in an intense off-season training regimen that saw him gradually increase his speed and restore his body weight back to 212 pounds. I had the pleasure to witness his overwhelming commitment as we both worked at Joe Namath's football camp at Nichols College in Dudley, Massachusetts. After camp each day, the college counselors and professional athletes would participate in past skeleton drills. And then the pros would leave camp and go to Namath's rented lakeside house where the players would relax, swim, and water ski. Rocky would never join the others in those post-camp outings. He would instead leave our passing drills, and then he would instantly begin his most intense running program. He would run up the hills to develop his strength and endurance. He never missed a workout. And to this day, the sight of him sprinting up those hills is one of my favorite visions of an athlete's total commitment to success. His unwavering, solitary dedication to training that summer not only saw him increase his speed and strength, but at a much deeper level, he rebuilt his broken body and spirit. Rocky's hard work overcame the odds, and in 1974, he earned a spot in the Pittsburgh Steelers starting backfield. In 76, he and Franco Harris rushed for over 1,000 yards, and many of Harris's yards were earned after crushing blocks by Blyer. In 78, he caught the go-ahead touchdown pass, and then he recovered an onside kick to clinch the Super Bowl XIII victory. Rocky Blyer was the ultimate teammate and competitor. His tireless pursuit of his dreams enabled him to overcome the odds caused by debilitating war injuries and intense pain. He would never give in, and he was committed to never looking back. He went on to play 10 years in the NFL and win 4 Super Bowls, and today he's a successful businessman, motivational speaker, and a man who continues to be a winner in all aspects of his life. I am still inspired by the memory of a man sprinting alone up a hill in those hot and humid afternoons. He was drenched in sweat, fatigued after a long day of camp, but every single day he soldiered on. His will, perseverance, and determination to honor his teammates on the 196th Light Infantry Brigade gave him that extra boost to climb those mountains and overcome all of the adversity in his life. Rocky Blyer is a true American hero, an amazing role model whose career best represents the words of that song that greeted him after every touchdown in Notre Dame Stadium. He is a great example that we should never give in, what though the odds be great or small. Keep listening, keep learning, and strive to be your best. And remember, excellence doesn't take days off.